ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaste, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste. Just one warning, my old friends, cold and cough, have decided to pay me a visit once again. So
Yes.
Tuesday was the starting, Wednesday was the second stage, yesterday was the peak. So today it has started subsiding. So if I sneeze or cough or blow my nose or something in between the class, please bear with me. So I'm just giving you a warning. Change of season, can't help it.
Yes.
Because if you put on the fan, it is cold. If you don't have the fan, it is warm. So that kind of a dilemma is there. Anyway, okay, we will chant sloka number 10 and 11. Okay. Aneka vaktra nayanam.
Aneka Nayanam.
Aneka bhuta darshanam.
Aneka Darshanam.
Aneka divya bharanam.
Aneka Divyabharanam.
Divyanekodhyatayudham.
Divyadekayudham.
Divyamalyam bharadaram.
Divyamalyam Bharadaram.
Divyagandhanulepanam.
Divyagandhanulepanam.
Sarvascharyamayam devam.
Sarvascharyamayam devam.
Anantam vishwato mukham.
Anantam Vishwatomukam.
Good. So along with Arjuna and Sanjaya, who are witnessing the Vishwarupa Ishvara, we are also experiencing, enjoying and understanding the description of Vishwarupa Ishvara as narrated by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. And from his narration, it is clear that Sanjaya is overwhelmed on seeing the limitless form of Ishvara. And it seems he is at a loss to know from where he should begin the description. So he starts by saying that Vishwarupa Ishvara has countless faces, countless mouths, countless pairs of eyes. He is awestruck by the form of Ishvara, which has wonderful sights, adorning numerous divine ornaments, wielding many weapons for the protection of Dharma, and he has not yet finished the description. In fact, Sanjaya's narration only covers the macro aspects of Vishwarupa. And as I said in the last class, we must not try to visualize a Vishwarupa form in the manner described by Sanjaya, because the implication of what he is describing needs to be understood clearly. What he is seeing as countless heads, faces, etc., represents the multitude of living beings in the world, who, along with the non-living entities, collectively represent Vishwarupa Ishvara. Therefore, we should not imagine that, like Ravana, who had 10 heads, Vishwarupa Ishvara has got countless heads and faces, etc. We must understand that Vishwarupa form is nothing but the totality of all kinds of existence in the universe, and all the heads, all the mouths, and all the eyes, etc. Rather, all the facial parts of all living beings in the world belong to that Lord alone, that Ishvara alone. The ownership of everything, including the non-living entities, rests in the Lord alone. And this is the message which Krishna wants to convey through this exhibition of his Vishwarupa. While Sanjaya is describing the macro aspects of the universe, later Arjuna will talk about what he is witnessing in more detail. That we will see when we come to that. So Sanjaya continues his description and says, Divya Malyam Bharadaram. So the Lord is wearing Malyam. Malya means garlands. Ambaram means vastram or dress. And Divyam, we know, divine, celestial. So the Lord is wearing many garlands and many types of dress. And here also how we should understand, we should not imagine a personal God with different malas. All malas worn by all the people are Bhagavan's mala only. All the dresses which are worn by people are Bhagavan's dress. And the moment I perceive them as Bhagavan's, they become Divyam. Then Divya Gandhanu Lepanam. A Vishwarupa which is smeared with lot of perfumes. Gandha means perfumes. So in those days also perfume was there, it seems, isn't it? Nowadays, of course, we have got varieties of perfumes for men, for women separately. It will not be long before they come up with perfumes for children also. And we use those perfumes all over, front, back, top, bottom, everywhere. In fact, you should see, the children of my son's age. I used to wonder, before going out, he will take that perfume bottle and spray it everywhere except the face. So those days, of course, the modern spray was not there. Their perfume was primarily chandanam, sandal paste, and of course, maybe few other things. So Gandha Anulepanam means a body which is smeared with perfumes, which are all divine. And again, what does that mean? different perfumes used by different people. They are all perfumes applied on the Lord. And that is why, when we apply also vibhuti, chandanam, etc., we are supposed to utter the name of the Lord, nama of the Lord. There is a vibhuti dharana mantra. You must actually put the vibhuti and all over the place with the mantra Trayambakam Mejamahe and Om Namah Shivaya. For Vaishnavas, they apply the various parts. When they apply various parts of the body, they have to remember Keshava, Narayana, Madhava, Govinda, etc. That means what? I am not just decorating my body. I am decorating the body of the Lord, which deserves decoration. Because I understand that the Lord resides in this body. And that is why I am decorating this body. This body is pavitram. It's divine because the Lord is there. So divya gandhanu lepanam. And therefore, when such is the Vishwarupa form which is beyond our imagination or even the imagination of Arjuna, how does it feel? Sarvascharyamayam. Vishwarupa Ishwara is the greatest wonder. Sarvascharyamayam. Sarva Ascharyamayam. So that is how, Arjuna is also awestruck and Sanjaya is also awestruck. But Sanjaya has not finished. He continues. We will read the 12th sloka. Divi Surya Sahasrasya
Divi Surya Sahasrasya
Bhaved Yuga Paduttita
Bhavet Yuga Paduttita
Yadhi Bhasadrushi Sasyad
Yedi Vasadrishi Sadhya
Bhasastasya Mahatmanah.
Vasasya Mahatmanah.
So the Anvaya of this sloka is Yadi Bah Surya Sahasrasya Bhavet Uttita Yugapat Divi Sa Sadrishi Syat Basah Tasya Mahatmanah. Yadi Bah, if the brilliance Surya Sahasrasya of 1,000 suns Bhavet Uttita were to rise up Yugapat simultaneously Divi in the sky Sa Sadrishi, that will be comparable Syat Bhasah to the brilliance of Tasya Mahatmanah, of that great Lord. So if the brilliance of 1,000 suns were to rise up simultaneously in the sky, that will be comparable to the brilliance of the great Lord. So when all this description is there, next question is, okay, I've seen this is Lord with so many garlands and things like that and all. What should be the brilliance of the Lord? He says, it should be the glaring brilliance of 1,000 suns shining at the same time. Just imagine, we are not able to see the brilliance of one sun itself in the morning, which is about 9 crore miles away. 9 crore odd miles away. And sun is so far away that for the sunlight to reach the earth, it takes 8 minutes or so. And our sun is just one of the ordinary stars. Even that sunlight we are not able to withstand. Imagine the eyes seeing all the lights of all the stars simultaneously. How brilliant it would be. In fact, we can't even imagine such a brilliance. And therefore, Sanjaya gives an example. He says, suppose thousands of suns arise in the horizon simultaneously. Surya Sahasrasya Bhaha. Surya Sahasram means thousands of sun. Bhaha means brilliance. Suppose the brilliance of thousands of suns, Uttishtata, has arisen, has emerged in the sky simultaneously. In fact, this is the example which is supposed to have been given by one atomic scientist, atomic physicist, when the atom bomb was exploded. So that brilliance of that explosion, that to an ordinary atom bomb, because special ones were not there at that time. When the explosion took place, the brilliance was indescribable. It seems one of those people who was well versed in Bhagavad Gita, he quoted this line. So just imagine, when we cannot imagine even the brilliance of one atom bomb explosion, and we know every star is having thousands of atom bombs explosions every moment. And that is how the stars produce energy. Imagine all of them appear simultaneously. Of course, now we do not have a problem because they are all safely very, very far away. But imagine if they all come closer, what will be our fate? Eh? Even now, in many parts of India, and why India now, even North America, Europe and all, not to talk of Middle East, we are not able to withstand the heat of one sun during summer. It's all coming now. It will start. April, it will start. April, May. Then what to talk of Surya Sahasram? And that too Yugapat. Simultaneously, suppose they emerge. What will be the brilliance? That is the comparison for the brilliance of Vishwarupa Ishvara. So, Tasya Mahatmana Baha Sadrishi Syat. So that will be the brilliance, that will be the comparison for the brilliance of the Mahatma. Here Mahatma means Vishwarupa Ishvara. Mahan Anantaha Shariram Yasya Mahatma. Here Atma does not mean Sachidananda Atma. Here Atma means Shariram. Mahatma means infinite body of the Lord. Tasya Mahatmanaha means the Lord. Basaha, brilliance. Sadrishi Syat is similar. So that is the brilliance of Vishwarupa Ishvara. It is beyond our imagination. Sanjaya continues. Tatraikastam Jagat Krishnam
Tatrikastam
Jagat-Krishnam
Jagat-Krishnam
Pravibhaktam Anekadha
Pravibhaktam-Ekadha
Apashyad Deva Devasya
Apashyedevasya
Sharire Pandavastada.
Sharire Pandavastada
Anvaya is Tatra Sharire Devasya Pandavaha Apashyat Tada Krishnam Jagat Anekada Pravibhaktam Ekastam. Tatra Sharire, there in the body, Devasya, of the Lord of the Lords, Pandavaha Apashyat, Arjuna saw, Tada, at that time, Krishnam Jagat, the entire universe, Anekada Pravibhaktam, with its manifold divisions, Ekastam, placed together. So there in the body of the Lord of Lords, Arjuna saw at that time the entire universe with its manifold divisions placed together. So Sanjaya is continuing with his description. In that infinite body of the Lord, and we can take the body as the space itself, the whole space. The Lord for whom the infinite space is the very body. In that body, Arjuna saw everything together. Krishnam Jagat Ekastam Apashyat. Arjuna saw the entire universe resting upon that one infinite body of the Lord. What type of universe? Anekada Pravibhaktam, which is divided in manifold forms. As I said earlier, in the form of galaxies at the macro level, then solar systems at the next level, planetary systems at the further next level. Thereafter, we have continents, we have countries. Continents is Bhagavan's division, countries is our division. We draw a line and then start fighting with each other. So this line, that line, LOC, McMahon line, so many lines are we draw. Very easy, take a map and draw one line and say, this is my area. So we draw so many artificial lines. And also we are constantly trying to change the contours of these lines, which leads to wars. Anyway, Arjuna saw in the body of the Lord the whole universe divided in manifold form. Like we discussed earlier, in the Puranic story, Yashoda saw the universe in the mouth of Krishna. Remember, it's only a symbolic presentation, a figurative presentation of Vishwarupa Darshana. And therefore, Apashyat. And where did Arjuna see it? Sharire Devadevasya. In the body of the Lord. Devadeva means Ishwaraha. And Sharire, we have seen the meanings. The meaning, the vast space in which the entire universe rests. Upanishads say Akasha Shariram Brahma. Therefore, Devadevasya Akashatmaka Sharire, Ananta Sharire, Pandavaha Arjuna. Tada, at that time, means at that time when the Divya Chakshu was given. Before that, Arjuna saw the same world. But it was a persecuting world, problematic world, a world full of challenges and difficulties, a burdensome world. Now the very same world has become totally different. And tada, Divya Chakshu Pradhana Anantaram. After being blessed with Divya Chakshu, Arjuna saw Vishwarupa, reports Sanjaya. Then 14 shloka. Tatah sa vismaya vishtaha.
ततस्तविस्मयाविष्टः
Hrishtharoma Dhananjayah.
हृष्टरोमानन्दयः
Pranamya Shirasa Devam.
प्रणम्य
शिरसा
शिरसा
देवम्
देवम्
Kritanjalirabhashata.
कृताञ्जलिरभाषत
Okay, the Anvaya is Tatah Sah Dhananjayah Vismaya Avishtaha Prishtaromaha Pranamya Devam Shirasa Abhashata Krita Anjalihi. Sorry. Tatah then Sah Dhananjayah, that Arjuna, Vismaya Avishtaha, who was wonderstruck, Rishtaromaha, and thrilled with hair standing on their ends. Pranamya Devam Shirasa saluted the Lord with his head, bowed his head, Abhashata, and spoke, Krita Anjalihi, with his palm joined together. Then that Arjuna, who was wonderstruck and thrilled, saluted the Lord with his head to bowed down and spoke with folded palms. Folded hands and folded palms. So, the change of perspective due to the Divya Chakshu had a great impact on Arjuna. And Sanjaya wants to bring out this impact. And after all, he has to describe the impact only through words. If it is a TV program, there are several methods of showing the impact. As I said earlier, with graphics, close-ups, background music and all. But all that poor Vyasacharya had was his palm leaf and the stylus, which in Tamil is called Eluttani. Therefore, he resorts to a poetic description to reveal the impact. Therefore, he says, Tataha saha vismaya avishtaha. So, Arjuna was wonderstruck, not because he was seeing a new thing, but he has a new perspective towards an ordinary thing. It is not an ordinary sight, but it is an extraordinary attitude towards the ordinary world. And because of this attitudinal change, Vismaya Avishta is wonderstruck. And this wonderment was so intense and deep that it began to express at the physical level also. And that is what normally happens. Because of extreme emotions, they flow out in the physical body due to the connection between the body and the mind. We all would have experienced this. When the mind is disturbed, we feel weak physically also. And we have seen in the first chapter, Arjuna saying, Sidanti mama gatrani mukam cha parishusyati. Isn't it? Because he was deluded, depressed. And that was showing in his body at the physical level. Similarly, here also in the 11th chapter, because of extreme wonderment, Rishtaroma, his hairs were standing on the end. He was thrilled. I think it is called horripilation in English. I think in Sanskrit it's called Romanja. So, Rishtaroma Dhananjaya. Arjuna, when he appreciated the Lord in the very form of the universe itself, the magnitude of the Lord is so vast. And in front of the Lord, we ordinary people are speck of dust. So how do we express that feeling? It is the same when we meet a Mahatma or some senior person. That is what Arjuna does here. Pranamya Shirasa Devam, O Lord, in front of you, I am just a speck of dust. Like we discussed earlier, the whole cosmos is the body of the Lord. When even solar systems are specks, what to talk of our status? We are almost invisible particle of dust. So how do we express our smallness? By namaskara only. Therefore, pranamya. O Lord, I am nothing in front of you. he bowed his head to Devam, the Lord. Krita Anjalihi, with Anjali Mudra. Anjali Mudra means when we bring our palms together in Namaskara Mudra. That is joining the palms is called Anjali. Abhashata. So it took a few minutes for Arjuna to collect himself because he could not speak. Wonderstruck, awestruck. My God, what am I seeing? So for a few moments, Arjuna could not speak and he took time to collect himself. Now Arjuna is going to speak and describe in his own words what he is witnessing. And therefore, you know what? Sanjaya, the Sutradhar, quietly withdraws to the green room. Now Arjuna starts. We will read. Arjuna Uvacha. The meter changes, huh? Pashyami devamstava deva dehe. Sarvans tata bhuta vishesha sanghan. Brahmanamisham kamalasanastam. Rishinscha sarvanuragascha divyan. So the Anvaya is Arjuna Uvacha. He Deva, Tava Dehe Pashyami Sarvan Devan. Tata Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan. Isham Brahmanam Kamala Asanastam. Sarvan Rishincha Divyan Uragancha. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna said, Hey Deva, O Deva, O Lord, Tava Dehe, in your body, Pashyami, I see, Sarvan Devan, all the gods, Tata Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan, as well as hosts of all various beings. Isham Brahmanam, the Lord Brahmaji, Kamala Asanastam, who is seated on the lotus. Sarvan Rishincha, all the sages. Divyan Uragancha and celestial serpents. So now Arjuna takes over and he is describing the Vishwarupa as seen by him. And Vyasacharya wants to highlight the description of Vishwarupa. So how to highlight? If it is in the written form, you can have highlighter pen, color print, you can print in bold letter, you can underline, do italics, etc. So in olden days, only palm leaves were there. And what can we do in that? In fact, it seems that while writing itself, this stylus was made of iron, this metal. And they used to write in the palm leaves and they used to create, some grooves in the palm leaves. And then they will put some paint on that, black color or something, so that the writing is visible. That is the technology those days. In that you cannot do highlighter and things like that and all. You cannot use all these highlighting methods. So whenever they wanted to highlight something, the method used is to change the meter of the sloka. So all slokas you will be reading in 1 meter. And when the meter itself is changed, there is a difference you notice. And if you are dozing in the class, you will be woken up. If you try to read this in the previous meter, it will be very difficult. and you have to change the tune itself. So this is the method of capturing the attention in those days. So when Arjuna experiences the Vishwarupa, he goes through several emotional stages where his responses are different. And we find that there are three stages in Arjuna's response to Vishwarupa. First and foremost reaction or response is Vismaya, Ascharyam. In fact, the world is an Acharya. But if you learn to objectively appreciate the world loses its Acharyatvam. Normally, we would look at the seasonal rains as a wonder because they come on time, at least they used to. And they are necessary for agriculture and survival of millions of farmers. And not only farmers, for all of us, including animals which feed on the flora, which springs up during and after rains. So we appreciate the timely rains coming as a wonder. But these days, we wonder why we have untimely rains. That's a different matter. But suppose you have organized some program in an open ground. Some music concert or something by some group or some very famous musician. And you are expecting a huge crowd to gather. Now you have a personal axe to grind. Now you look at the world from your own personal standpoint. And suppose it is the rainy season and you see dark clouds hovering in the sky. Now you will no longer look at the rain as a wonderful phenomenon of nature. In fact, you will pray specially for the rain not to come. You may even sing that nursery rhyme, rain, rain, go away, come again another day. Therefore, at that time, rain becomes inimical to you because you look at the rain from your personal requirement, personal preference, without considering what effect it could have on others. So this private vision is described in the Shastra as Jiva Drishti, subjective colored vision. And the Jiva Drishti alone expresses in the form of Raga and Dvesha, Kama, Krodha, Ahankara and Mamakara. And therefore, world can never give you wonderment. It can never give you the sense that Arjuna is getting now. Since Krishna has removed the obstacle from Arjuna's mind, Arjuna no longer has Jiva Drishti. He is in Ishwara's world, which is wonderful. Now, when we read such description, so many questions may arise in our mind. One of them is, does this mean that the world is wonderful even after the terrorist attack, mindless killing, destruction in a war, etc., what is right now going on the one side between Russia and Ukraine, another side between Israel, US and Iran, in which some other countries are also getting involved. Looking at all that, our question will be, how can we say the world is wonderful? Isn't it? A very natural question. But we would still say the world is wonderful because when we talk about the world, we are looking only into the earth. And that there too, only the land part of it. There also only a few human beings. And that too, those who have got what you call asuric thinking. But if you look at the totality of the cosmos, This brutality is nothing but like a small mosquito bite only. Even if the entire earth is blown up, it will be a non-event from the standpoint of total cosmos. It is like, a blot appears big if you are taking a square inch. But very same blot is nothing if you have got a larger vision. Therefore, vision matters, perspective matters. But what happens, especially in metros and big cities, where people are constantly hooked on to the print media, social media, TV, etc., most of the time only negative news is broadcast or telecast. And we tend to form an opinion that the whole world is bad and full of villains or evil people. The media seldom report good news. And even if it is there, it is tucked away somewhere in a corner, which we are very likely to miss. But we ignore the fact that many wonderful things are happening, but they are not considered worth reporting because they will not get the TRPs or the eyeballs or whatever, circulation will not increase. Therefore, if we do not have a total perspective, it looks the whole world is consisting of negative events only. No doubt, many times these negative events could affect us personally. But time and again, we have seen how human races successfully face the challenges and risen again like a mythological phoenix bird. If you look at the totality, if you take a cosmic view, even a world war is nothing but a small pinprick in the cosmos. And therefore, when you look at the world not from Jiva Drishti, Ahankara, Mamakara, Bhava, if you look at the world from Ishvara Drishti, it is wonderful in spite of all the so-called evils taking place. And Arjuna has got such a Ishvara darshan. And therefore he is wonderstruck. And this Acharya Bhava is expressed from verse 15 to 22. And thereafter from 23 onwards, the response or emotion undergoes a change, which we will see when we come to that verse. So the first response is wonderment. Anything of a huge magnitude appears wonderful, whether it is ocean or sky or mountain or even waterfalls. You take the case of Niagara Falls. It's a wonderful sight. We must all have seen water and also waterfalls, but nothing compares to the scale of the wonderful Niagara Falls. Similarly, there are many mountain ranges, but Himalayan range is considered to be wonderful because it is huge. In fact, if you go to Kanyakumari, whenever I used to go to Kanyakumari, I used to do this. Sunset time, go and sit on the beach. It's little elevated, pick a rock and then sit there. After the sunset, just observe the entire vast body of water. It's so wonderful, I tell you. You can't get so much water at one place. You can't see so much water at one place. I used to really enjoy that scene rather. On the one side, Indian Ocean, one side, Bay of Bengal, and then Arabian Sea. All coming together, different characteristics of each. And you can really, see the wonder of this nature. So anything huge is wonderful. And what to talk of Vishwarupam, the more you look at it, the more wonderstruck you will be. And therefore Arjuna says, Hey Deva, O Lord, Tavadehe, in your body, Sarvan Devan Pashyami. I am seeing all the gods. Here, Dehe does not mean refer to Krishna Shariram. Remember, Akasha Sharire, Vishwarupa Sharire. So, in that body of Vishwarupa Ishwara, which is the entire space, I see all the gods. Tatha Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan, and similarly multitudes of different living beings. Bhuta means living beings. Vishesha means different species, right from the smallest microorganism to the most evolved human beings. Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan. Sanghan means multitude. So not only I see all of them, Isham Brahmanam, I also see Brahmaji. Oh my God. I am able to see Brahmaji, the creator, who is Kamalasanastam, who is seated on the lotus. As we know, according to Puranas, lotus is born out of Lord Vishnu's navel and Padmanabha. And upon that I see Brahmaji. Now we must clearly understand all these are symbolic. Lord Vishnu represents Samashti Karana Sharira. And the lotus represents Samashti Sukshma Sharira. Then Brahmaji represents Samashti Sukshma Sharira Pratibimbita Chaitanyam. So the Vedantic technical aspects are symbolically represented. When you say Samashti Sukshma Shariram, Pratibimbita Chaitanyam, etc., a lay person cannot understand. And therefore they present a beautiful lotus and Brahmaji sitting on it and all. Now you cannot ask how a person can sit on a lotus. Isn't it? That's whole thing is just symbolic. We must understand all these things. Similarly, children may believe that Ravana had 10 heads. But once you mature, understanding, you must understand that the 10 heads is symbolic representation. So many things in the Puranas, in the Shastras are symbolic presentation. For those people at the lowest level of intellect, they can understand that. So Isham Brahmanam. So here the word Isha is adjective to Brahmanam. Isham Brahmanam means Lord Brahma. Another thing here, Isha does not mean is Shiva and all, no? It is Isha means Lord. So Lord Brahmaji, who is seated on the lotus. Then Sarvan Rishinscha Pashyami, I see all the rishis as well. Celestial rishis. Not only I see the rishis, I see Divyan Uragancha. Divyan means celestial. Uragan means serpents. So celestial serpents like Vasuki, Ananta, etc. So here Arjuna is indicating that he is seeing all the 14 lokas in Vishwa Sharira. Where all the 14 lokas are placed on the space only, isn't it? Now, all this kind of description will lead to a very important question. When Arjuna saw Vishwarupam, did he see only the physical world that is perceptible, or did he see other higher lokas like Bhuvar Loka, Suvar Loka, etc., which normally is not within our range of our eyesight? Because Brahmanam, Rishin, Divyan, etc. is said. And this question will arise because, as we discussed earlier, what is Vishwarupa Ishwara Darshanam? It is seeing the divinity in everything that we can perceive with our ordinary eyes. Isn't it? That is how we have defined Vishwarupa Ishvara. And we are able to perceive divinity in everything because of the purity of the mind. That is what we have described as Divya Chakshu. And therefore, the first condition is that Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshanam can take place only in respect of those objects or entities which the physical eyes are able to see. But here Arjuna is saying he is seeing Brahmaji sitting on a lotus. He is seeing the rishis who have long gone. He is seeing the celestial serpents, etc., which ordinarily none of us, including Arjuna, can see with physical eyes. And therefore, the question is, how should we understand all these things? Because there is a danger. And the danger is such descriptions can lead us to believe that if we have a pure mind, Divya Chakshu, we can see all the 14 lokas, Brahmaji, all the devatas, etc., which will then enter the realm of mysticism. And from Vedanta standpoint, we say there is no mysticism in the entire universe. And therefore, we need to understand all these descriptions in their proper perspective. One way of understanding is that Arjuna did not physically see the Swarga Lokas, etc. But Vyasacharya is poetically describing that Arjuna saw everything. It can be taken as a poetic description of the Vishwarupa. Because Arjuna has studied all these things. Right? He has read about Puranas, read the Puranas about Brahmaji, sitting on a lotus and all. So those ideas are already there in the mind. So one way we can understand is that he knows about the 14 lokas, he has read about rishis, read about celestial serpents, he has read that Samudra Mathanam story and all. So all those, that ideas are there in the mind. Now, because the mind has become pure, those ideas or those memories are coming up. And that is what Arjuna is describing as he is seeing all those things. And that is what happens in our dreams also, isn't it? What are the dreams? Dreams are nothing but all the memories replaying. Action replay is what happens. They're all there in our subconscious mind. And when the mind is at, completely resolved during dream, this subconscious mind plays up. And all these images which are there, stored there, they are thrown up as though on a screen with different mixtures rather. I mean, it is not, many times the dreams, we see will not have any logic at all. There will be scenes, there will be places we will be seeing in the dream, which we have never ever seen in this Janma at least. We will be wondering, where have I seen this place? How this place looks very beautiful and all. And that is what Vyasacharya is describing. So we can take it as a poetic description. And why cannot it be taken literally? We say we can take it as poetic description because later in the Vishwarupa Varnanam itself, Arjuna will say that he is seeing Bhishma, Drona, Karna, etc. entering the mouth of Vishwarupa Ishvara, getting crushed in between the teeth. All these shlokas will come later. He will say, Vaktrani te tvaramana vishanti damshtra karalani bhayanakani. 27th shloka. But all those people, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, etc., are still in the battlefield. And therefore, how can Arjuna see them being crushed or killed? So it is only later, after the war starts, that they are going to be killed. Therefore, the question is it a literal event of a poetic description? If it is an actual event, then where is the question of Arjuna killing Bhishma, Drona, etc. later? So if he is actually seeing Bhishma, Drona being killed, then there should be no war. So we can take it that they are entering the mouth of Vishwarupam is only a poetic description. Similarly, Vyasacharya describes that Arjuna saw all the lokas. It need not be physically true. It is the uniqueness of his vision. He looked at this lokas as Ishvara Shariram. So this is one possibility. Or there is a second possibility. Suppose you say, no, it is all not poetic description. Arjuna actually saw everything he is describing, because if you say it's all poetic description, symbolic, etc., some people will get disappointed. They want to attribute something mystic. People want mysticism, isn't it? And that is why, a large number of people I have seen attend the Bhagavad Saptaham wherever it is held. I know a couple who was in Nana Nani phase 3, who were in. They will visit Bhagavad Saptaham wherever it is held, and they have been doing this for the last 25 years. Listening to the same story again and again and again. Why? They enjoy the mystic leelas of Krishna. They love hearing how Krishna, held the Govardhan Parvata in his little finger. So such people will say, Arjuna actually saw all the higher lokas also. But we will not dispute their claim, because it is their asta, their belief. We don't want to disturb them. Na buddhi bedam janayet. If you want to believe that, you believe that. But so far as we Vedantins are concerned, there is no mysticism in all these things. Then even if you say Arjuna saw the higher lokas, then we say, okay, but remember here, seeing higher lokas is not really important. That is not the important part of Vishwarupa Darshana. We do not want to give importance to seeing higher lokas, because seeing higher lokas will not guarantee liberation. If seeing higher lokas will give liberation, Krishna need not criticize the higher lokas at all in the second chapter. Isn't it? Therefore, remember, even if Arjuna saw the higher lokas, we do not want to give importance to that aspect. What is more important in Vishwarupa Darshanam is not seeing extraordinary things, but seeing ordinary world itself as Vishwarupam, as body of the Lord. Therefore, we must remember, what Arjuna sees is not important. How he sees is important. So, Vishwarupa Darshanam, the manner of seeing is highlighted, not the object of Vishwarupam. Whether it is ordinary thing or extraordinary thing, what you see does not give you spiritual growth. But how you see that alone guarantees spiritual growth. Okay. We'll continue in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
Om.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaskaram. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get well soon, Guruji.
It will all come and go, I say. I thought last 2 weeks ago I had this problem. That's why one, I think Mundakopanishad class I cancelled. I think so. It was, I don't remember Mundakopanishad Bhagavad Gita. But then I thought it was gone, but it has again picked up. Anyhow, part of the game.
Get well soon. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you
you.
very much.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram.
Guruji, this Vishwarupa Darshanam, Arjun is seeing and he is expressing his all views. So that Sanjay hears that. Apart from that, Sanjay directly also sees the Vishwarupa Darshana. It's like that, no?
See, there's a difference.
Yeah, that you told. I understood.
I told,
that.
it is like seeing a cricket match in a
Telecast.
stadium
Yes.
and seeing cricket
Telecast.
match on this thing, TV.
Yeah, that is a very good aspect you brought out. Yeah.
So it is not the same.
But he sees, yeah.
But he is seeing, the telecast he is able to see. That's
Okay.
why later Krishna says that nobody else sees this other than you, Arjuna. What does it mean? That means actually seeing only Arjuna has got this. Sanjaya does not have has the Dibya Chakshu. He is not, purity of mind is given only to Arjuna. Sanjaya, the power has been given only to view what is going on in the Kurukshetra war. So he is just repeating, right, what he is seeing.
Yeah.
That he is not seeing it himself with purity of mind with the Dibya Chakshu.
Yes.
So that difference we must understand very well.
Yeah. Understood. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I think hands are not going up. You are all sparing me for my health condition, I think. Okay. Anyway, I think there are questions you please note down. We'll take it up in the next class. Now, I also want to do some medication and
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
dinner and sleep. Okay. Dhanyavada.
Thank
Thank you very much. Hari Om.
Dhanyavada, Guruji.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om.